Welcome back to snowy Minneapolis. It's the Bears and the Vikings meeting for the second time in 3 weeks. Chicago with a 28-10 victory at Soldier Field. Bears have won the last 6 meetings. Home teams have won 17 of the last 21. Now a developing story. The Bears place kicker Robbie Gould suffered a left calf strain during pregame warm-up, so Adam Podlish, the Bears punter, will handle the opening kickoff.
And I think this is a smart idea. Take away some of that pressure from the kick and that placement of that left foot for Robbie Gould. And when we watched him warm up after that injury, we never really saw him extended beyond the 25-yard line in his field goal attempts.
Kickoff bounces into the end zone away from A.J. Jefferson. No return. So the Vikings, with a record of 6-6, they are 5-1 here at home. Will start from their own 20-yard line. Led out onto the field by the second-year quarterback out of Florida State, Christian Ponder.
Yeah, and a lot of talk about Christian Ponder this week up here in Minnesota. How is he going to bounce back from that loss to Green Bay? I liked everything he said. You know, he made some bad decisions, especially on first and second down. You know, those are some downs where you can kind of throw the ball away, play a little bit smarter. We'll see how he plays this afternoon, bouncing back.
Vikings without Percy Harvin, the leading receiver, placed on injured reserve this past week. On first down, it's Adrian Peterson, who ran for 210 against Green Bay last Sunday, and Peterson stays in bounds and is finally tackled inside the Chicago 30 by Lance Briggs, a 52-yard run on the first play from scrimmage by Adrian Peterson.
And we'll see how often Minnesota decides to attack Chicago right in this area. There's your two new guys in the lineup because Brian Urlacher is out. Do they focus onto the right side of their offensive line and try and get some mismatches? And I tell you what, over the last 6 weeks, this guy has been absolutely phenomenal. They cannot waste the efforts that he is putting forth in the running game.
9 guys in the box in that last run, Bruce.
From the Bears, 29, it's Peterson again brings the tackle, so he follows up a long run by gaining just 1. On first down, Vikings offense ranked 22nd. These 5 on the offensive line, they've started every game.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons they're playing so well in the running game. They're doing a nice job in pass protection. The issue is they're not taking advantage, like Tony said, of all of the threats that they pose to the defense and what you have to do to commit to stop Adrian. There should be plays down the field, and those receivers have to step up and make them today.
It's Peterson again. 3 plays, 3 Adrian Peterson runs. He's swallowed up at the 27-yard line. Bears defense ranked 5th, but as we mentioned, without a couple of key guys today.
Yeah, a lot of changes. Nate Collins is in for Stephen Paya. He's been playing well this year. He's been banged up. They're going to set him down. He's inactive today. But your big one is right there in the middle. Brian Urlacher. His experience, his knowledge, his ability to follow plays during the course of the game. And Calvin Hayden gets to start for Tim Jennings. Tim Jennings leads the NFL in takeaways, and that's what this defense does best.
Ponder on 3rd and 8. Checks it down, and Michael Jenkins picks up a Vikings first down, gain of 11. So Ponder hits a wide receiver early last Sunday. No completions to a wideout the first 57 minutes.
But the big thing about Chicago is you know where they're going to be defensively. A little slip right there by Lance Briggs. That allows that little void to be in that zone defense. You know where to go. Now it's just execution. Can you execute against this Bears defense?
Vikings in the red zone. They have 3 tight ends on the field. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. The handoff to Peterson. He's inside the 10, the 5, and he is wrestled out of bounds inside the 2. Peterson gains 15 more.
You've got to pay attention to formation at the snap of the ball. They out-leveraged Chicago. Look at this. They got 5 guys to their left side. That affects gap control. Chicago is a gap control defense, a 1-gap defense. That means every defender is responsible for 1 gap, and they overloaded that side of the ball and messed up their gap count.
Yep, easiest block on offense for an offensive lineman is a down block. When you're out leveraged, that's what happens. They get out on a perimeter.
1st and goal from the 1 as Peterson takes it in for a Vikings touchdown.
This is a very impressive opening drive by the Minnesota Vikings. Jerome Felton, who's been blocking really, really well as the fullback in that offense with the lead block on the touchdown run by Adrian Peterson.
69 yards for Peterson on the drive. Got things started with a 51-yard run where Walsh the extra point. 7-0 Minnesota. What a start for Adrian Peterson and the Vikings offense.
And you know what? That's a scary thing. Look at the line there at the bottom. The Bears' first opening drive touchdown allowed all season. When we talked to Major Wright and Chris Conti yesterday, one of the things they brought up was that San Francisco game. San Francisco drove down the field, only got a field goal, but they felt like they established themselves offensively right from that opening drive. Let me tell you what, you don't see a better opening drive than what Minnesota just put on that defense.
Eric Williams on the return for Chicago. Forced out of bounds by Andrew Sendejo. So Jay Cutler and the Bears offense take the field trailing by 7.
And he was on fire the last time these two teams played. Tremendous confidence in his ability to put a ball into a small window. The Minnesota Vikings covered Brandon Marshall well, but Cutler and Marshall were in such a zone, and there's so much confidence between the two. They made some great throw catches in that game.
12 receptions for Marshall against the Vikings 2 weeks ago. Bears start from their own 17-yard line. 3 receivers set. Cutler looking to throw on first down over the middle, and it's broken up by Jasper Brinkley.
And the big challenge for the Bears this year, when we talk about the running game not in sync, Jay Cutler getting roughed up in the pocket, there's been a lot of change on this offensive line. One of the things that Mike Tice will do, he will help Jamarcus Webb all afternoon. The backs, the tight ends, they will always chip to the left side. Alshon Jeffrey gets the start at wide receiver. I think he's a key part to this passing game, taking the next step. He's been in and out of the lineup during the course of the year because of injuries. When he's in there, it's a different passing attack.
Devin Hester in the slot. 2nd and 10, Cutler, quick out to Hester, who returns, missed last week's game with a concussion suffered against the Vikings 2 weeks ago, and Hester looks to have a first down.
This Minnesota Vikings team is 5-1 at home this season, and I think it is a great home field advantage, especially for this group right here. Jared Allen gets that extra tick coming off that ball. This crowd gets loud. They're going to have to challenge that Bears offensive line. Enjoyed talking with Harrison Smith during the course of the weekend. One of the good young players in the NFL today. A much under-respected secondary for the Minnesota Vikings.
Smith, a first-round pick out of Notre Dame, and Forte is bottled up. Loosely yardage. Jared Allen with the tackle for a loss of a yard.
We talk about him in the sack game, but he's just as good against the run because he's an upfield penetrating type defensive lineman. You could see the trap was coming from the Bears. You're pulling a guy, you want to kick Jared Allen out, get up inside of him, but he's so quick, he beats that trap block.
Yeah, he does a nice job of keeping his eyes inside on the ball carrier, but knowing that that pull is coming.
Hester in the slot to the left. On 2nd and 11, Cutler hands it off. Forte finds a hole, and that is brought down at the 33-yard line by Smith. Forte gains 7, setting up 3rd down and 4. Scored on their opening drive, lead the Bears 7-0. 3rd down and 4, Chicago. Bears must get to the 37 for a first down as Cutler throws, it's picked off. Intercepted by Josh Robinson. Now Robinson is inside the 20, the 10. The question is, did he stay in bounds? He did. Touchdown.
This is a timing route to Alshon Jeffrey. It's a skinny post. It's thrown on time. Wide receiver is going to make his break. Jay Cutler is going to throw him open. Let's see if 17 slips on the break. Little bit of contact right there, goes to the ground. Now watch the Minnesota Viking defense. Chad Greenway, 52 right there, a great block on Matt Forte. And it looks like, actually, he stepped out of bounds when he hurdled.
All turnovers are reviewed upstairs. It certainly did look like Robinson stepped out of bounds during the return. Walt Coleman is our referee. For Robinson, his second interception this season, rookie third-round pick out of Central Florida.
There's that block by Chad Greenway as he goes to go up and over. Looks like that left foot is out of bounds right there.
And if it is determined that Robinson did in fact step out of bounds, it will be 1st and goal for the Vikings inside the Bears 6. It was ruled a touchdown on the field, but all turnovers are reviewed. Take one more look as his left foot comes down, looks to hit White.
Nice cut back inside, though.
Well, you know, a nice job by Minnesota's defense too, Tony. I mean, it looked just
job.
like Chicago's defense, right? We see these turnovers, and all of a sudden, I mean, Chad Greenway, that was a great lead block on Matt Forte to get him to the sideline, have the opportunity to hurdle him and try and get into the end zone.
You know how athletic those defensive guys are. I mean, they're multi-talented.
Vikings taking a page out of the Bears book. Chicago with 7 defensive touchdowns on interception returns this season. Remember, it must be conclusive.
You know, everything we've seen, Tony, or Kenny, you wonder, is there enough? Does that one give you enough? Is he in the white right there? This is going to be interesting to see what the officials decide, if there's enough from these angles to overturn the call that was made on the field.
Jay Cutler chatting with quarterbacks coach Jeremy Bates. Here's Josh Robinson, who returned the pick 49 yards for a score. The play is under review. Certainly looked to us like Robinson stepped out of bounds. Here comes Walt Coleman.
After reviewing the play, the runner's left foot stepped out of bounds at the 5.5-yard line. Will be 1st and goal at the 5.5. Please reset the clock to 9:49, please. 9:49.
So no touchdown for Robinson and the Vikings, but Leslie Frazier sends his offense back out onto the field. 1st and goal from the Bears 5.
One of the things that Minnesota has battled offensively is being aggressive, trying not to make mistakes. We talked about the small margin for error, but in this situation, I would really like to see Bill Musgrave be aggressive with his play calling. Punch this in, jump out 14-0 right away here in the 1st quarter.
On 1st down, it's Peterson. Major Wright comes up to make the tackle. Gain of 3.
It's one of those situations that they were not going to be too excited about, is a gaping hole, and Adrian Peterson coming through that really kind of untouched, and Major Wright and Chris Conte both with safety support happening to come up and make that tackle on Adrian Peterson.
Saw the numbers on Peterson. There's Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, 72 yards on the ground. We have not yet played 6 minutes. 2 tight end set. The pitch to Peterson on 2nd and goal. Hard to bring him down, and Bears finally do just that at the 1-yard line.
Looks like Henry Melton got a little banged up on that last play. Yeah, Melton's down.
Well, that's one of the guys that Lovie Smith has been talking to us about all season long. There's Henry Melton, 69, coming across on your screen. They've talked about Henry Melton. They've talked about that D-line rotation for the Chicago Bears.
Vikings lead 7-0. 3rd and goal from the Bears' 1-yard line following a Chicago turnover. Peterson, he's in. Touchdown. His 2nd of the quarter.
I guess you don't have to be an aggressive play caller when you got number 28 lined up as your halfback.
Not at all. Not at all. Just give him the ball and tell him to go. Take a look at him right here. He does a nice job of seeing the outside corner wide open and then just turning it up, keeping the shoulder square like we talk about all the time now, and just forcing his way right into the end zone.
Nice job by Matt Khalil on Julius Peppers on that. That was the open side. They put two tight ends right and ran back to the left.
Walsh with the extra point. For Adrian Peterson, his second touchdown today. 14 points for the Vikings in just over 3 minutes. Well, the Minnesota Vikings could not have asked for much more over the first 6.5 minutes.
I mean, an incredible start. I mean, the offense on that opening series has a great drive against the defense. Then they get the takeaway. And Chicago just has to be wondering what hit them. What did we walk into today?
Again, it's Weeds, not Hester. On a return for Chicago. And he not able to get across the 10.
I tell you one thing right now, Chicago is not matching the intensity and the emotion of the Minnesota Vikings right now in any phase of this game. Offense, defense, and right there, special teams inside the 10-yard line or just outside the 10-yard line on a kickoff.
Minnesota, you hit the nail on the head, Moose. You can feel it down here. They're just ready to play, and Chicago just can't get it going.
Bears started the season 7-1. They've lost 3 of their last 4. The only win came over these Vikings 2 weeks ago. Bears have run only 5 offensive plays. They trail 14-0. From the 11, play action on first down. Cutler with time. And the pass out to the 20-yard line is incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Kellen Davis.
Time for this offense to step up. You know, obviously, this is a different Bears defense this afternoon without Brian Urlacher, without Tim Jennings. They have carried this team to this 8-4 record. It's time for Jay and his guys on that side of the ball to step up and take some pressure off that defense and get this team headed in the right direction this afternoon.
The offense ranked 30th in the league despite great chemistry and the terrific numbers put up by Cutler and Marshall over the first 12 games. Cutler, of course, missed one. Pass deflected and then nearly picked off by Antoine Winfield. Fred Evans got a piece of it.
Well, it looked like he was looking at Devin Hester, and then he decided to go outside. And that offensive line held up pretty good, but the defensive line got their hands up a little bit, and Jay Cutler just made a low throw that was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 10 for Chicago. Play clock winding down, and the Bears will use their first timeout. Chicago in a 14-0 hole, and Cutler having trouble hearing the play call.
And sometimes you miss a guy from a production standpoint, but that guy right there, you're going to miss his leadership all afternoon. You can see the concern on his face for his defense right now.
And his intimidation also now. One thing Jay Cutler can't do here is try to force something and get another turnover. If it's not there, he needs to get rid of this ball and just punt the ball.
Cutler on 3rd down and 10 takes off. Let's get to the 21. And he does pick up the Bears' first down.
We've said it all along. You can say what you want about Jay Cutler, but you can't question his toughness. This is a guy, he had a concussion a couple weeks ago. Here it is, a critical part of the game. 3rd and long, you're backed up. All the momentum is with Minnesota. You can't come out and punt again. And look at the effort here to get the first down.
He knows what he has to do to get this offense going. He needs a little momentum, and that's called a leader right there.
Well, the leader on the defensive side, Urlacher watching from the sidelines. Cutler gains 11. Matt Forte follows it up with a 4-yard run as we head to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
Well, after the Redskins, RG3 hooked up with Josh Morgan for a 7-0 lead. Joe Flacco and the Ravens answered back. Anquan Bolden, 19-yard score. We're all tied at 7 in the first quarter. Getting loose goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Redskins have won their last 3. All over division rivals. Second down and 6. Butler out of the shotgun, swings it out to Devin Hester. Looks to put on a move and then is forced out of bounds by Winfield after a short gain of just 1.
Yeah, you know, I think that this is a good position for Devin Hester to go to. I think that his skill set working out of here, out of the slot, and the plays that you can create with his ability as a returner, this is where you can take advantage of that. As a starting wideout on the outside, that Z position, the spot opposite the tight end, I think it's a difficult spot for him. It takes a lot of time to develop that. And I think that Devin Hester, with now Alshon Jeffrey stepping in, moving into the slot, that's 3 dynamic players on the outside for Chicago.
Third down at 5. Forte out of the backfield, and a beautiful tackle is made by the 3-time Pro Bowler Antoine Winfield as Forte loses a yard, and the Bears are forced to punt.
Well, Jay Cutler, he's in the backfield. They don't block Jared Allen right there. Jay Cutler knows he has to get rid of the ball fast and dumps it outside, but nice tackle right there.
That's a good play design, get Matt Forte out in space on a corner, but unfortunately the corner was Antoine Winfield, one of the best tackling corners in the NFL throughout his entire career.
So here's Adam Podlesh, who handled the opening kickoff for the injured Robbie Gould earlier. Marcus Sherrill's back deep. Their catch is called for at the 26-yard line. There is a flag. Flag back at the 33.
During the kick, holding number 40 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Red Ellison. It will force the Vikings back 10 yards. They lead 14-0. Well, Adrian Peterson has outgained the entire Bears team by more than a 2-1 margin. Peterson with 74 yards and 2 Viking touchdowns. Minnesota starts this drive from their 16-yard line on the slant. It is Jerome Simpson who picks up 13 yards and a Vikings first down.
I want you to see what Chicago's doing. This is the respect that Tony talked about with Adrian Peterson. There are 9 guys at the line of scrimmage. Play action pass, come out, throw the ball. There has to be plays to be made in the play action game.
Problem for Chicago, they got 9 guys in the box and they're still not stopping.
From the 29 on first down, it's Peterson. Takes it out across the 30. What a remarkable return it has been from surgery last December for Adrian Peterson.
And here this just shows you the confidence that he's gaining. You know, you get into the month of September, he wanted to be back for the start of the year, but just look how he's gotten better each month. And then look what he did last week, the first week of December against Green Bay at 210. So he is becoming more and more dangerous. You know, that running back that gets stronger by quarter, stronger by month during the course of the year.
For the season, he's averaging over 6 yards per carry. Ponder in trouble. Down he goes. Football is loose. But the whistle was blown. Ponder was ruled down before the ball came out.
You got to realize when this is a dead play, Christian Ponder has got to get 2 hands on this.
The stop. Third down.
It is ruled that Ponder's forward progress was stopped.
And that's not reviewable. Once forward progress is ruled, you can't rule fumbles, so the tuck rule, none of that comes into play. Once you go forward progress has been stopped, the fumble is not reviewable.
Corey Woot now with 5.5 sacks. Viking fans may remember Woot sack of Brett Favre 2 seasons ago, last play of Favre's career. Third down at 22. Vikings keep it on the ground. And we'll punt it away. Julius Peppers coming up to bring down Adrian Peterson. Devin Hester back deep. Bears used Eric Weems on the 2 kickoff returns. Hester without a return for a touchdown in his last 18 games. This kick by Kluwer, taken at the 33 by Hester. And Hester returns it 13 yards out to the 46. So good field position for the Bears after a good stand by their defense as Wood brings down Ponder. Vikings lead 14-0. It is week 14 as we check out the NFC playoff picture.
You can see Chicago there with the wild card spot, but that's why this is such a meaningful game right here. At 6-6, we talked about them losing control of their destiny. They would have to win out and have some help. So it doesn't get much more important than this game today for the Minnesota Vikings, and they've come out and taken advantage of that situation, playing very, very well here at the start of the game.
And among those other 6-6 teams, Redskins lead the Ravens 14-7. Cowboys trailing Cincinnati 10-3. Buccaneers and Eagles are scoreless. Leslie Frazier, the former Chicago Bear, has never beaten the Bears. He's 0-4 as head coach of the Vikings. Bobby Smith's Bears trailing 14-0. Adrian Peterson with a pair of first quarter touchdowns. James Brown in at left guard for Edwin Williams as Cutler goes to his right. Now he fires downfield. And the pass is incomplete. Cutler was hit right after he went loose.
Yeah, right as he let go of the ball, Christian Ballard continuing to work, and this is one of the things that Mike Tice wanted to do. Play action, get out on that naked boot, and this is where they're going to take their shot down the field. Brandon Marshall working from the slot. Double moves. If you're going to have a double move, it's going to take you some time, so you extend it. But there's Harrison Smith. That's your job as safety. Nobody gets beyond you.
Marshall second in the league with 91 receptions. Michael Bush in the backfield takes the toss from Cutler on 2nd and 10 with Jamarcus Webb leading the way as Bush crosses midfield into Vikings territory. His first carry today, the former Raider gains 7.
And just would expect more production from the run game of Chicago when you talk about Matt Forte and Michael Bush as a 1-2 combination. But it's really been those guys up front. It's been a challenge for Chicago all season long with that offensive line. Some of the same issues that they faced last year, a guy here, a guy there, they got that all sorted out. I talked to Roberto Garza before the game, and he said, you know, here we are in December, and we're still having that one single breakdown that's preventing our big running plays from clicking.
We're down at 3. The fake toss to Forte, and then Cutler throws over the middle, and it is Marshall for a Bears first down, his first reception today, and Brandon gains 12.
Nice play action on this one, Bruce.
Yeah, really good ball faking right here by Jay Cutler. A lot of stuff for the defense to process. But again, Brandon Marshall, I mean, just a good feel, being able to find that soft spot in that zone.
Marshall now
sits down right there.
Well, Marshall now split out to the left deuce, Weems to the right. 2 tight ends from the 36-yard line. Cutler hands it off, and Forte is bottled up, gains just 1.
Now, Moose, you talked about the run game. The thing that I'm seeing from the Chicago team over the past few weeks is in the middle of this offensive line, you don't get a lot of push. These guys don't get a lot of movement to that secondary, that second level to the linebackers, and it really restricts them from running that inside game. Most of the games that they're running or run plays is to the outside, which gives those linebackers plenty of angles. So that's the problem, I think, with their run game. They need to run more inside to get more push.
2nd down and 9. As Cutler throws, and the pass is off the mark, intended for tight end Kellen Davis. Jasper Brinkley on the coverage.
Jasper Brinkley in coverage working against Kellen Davis, big tight end right here. He's going to kind of work up. You're going to try and get a little bit of separation right there. You know, he's got to move. He can't just post that guy up. He's not a basketball player down in the paint. You know, football is about getting separation, so your quarterback has the confidence to throw you the ball. You can go up and initiate contact, but then Kellen Davis has got to separate from the defender.
3rd down and 9, empty backfield. Here comes the pressure. Cutler Throws, and it's incomplete. So now, what will the Bears do with the left calf strain suffered by Robbie Gould in pregame warmups? It is 4th and 9. This would be a 53-yard field goal attempt. And without Gould available, who's been one of the best in the business from 50-plus, Bears send out the punting unit.
Now, I like this decision. You know, Lovie Smith second-guessed himself a little bit last week in the game against Seattle when he went for it on 4th down instead of kicking a field goal. Kind of a similar situation right here. You're down 14. Let's get back in. Let's play field position. Let's bury this team back by executing our punt and then put our defense out there.
Flag prior to the snap.
False start, center, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
I don't think that's a big deal. I think anything that just helps out Podlish a little bit more. Well, Robbie Gould got injured during pregame, and we actually saw him talking to the doctors on the sideline. He doesn't even know what he did right there. We could kind of read his lips as he was talking to the medical staff, and he's like, I don't even know what happened.
And we were told later on it was a left calf strain. The punt by Podlish pins Sherrills inside his 10. So a long field for the Vikings, who lead 14-0. Adrian Peterson with a pair of touchdowns today. What a 6-game stretch it has been leading up to this game.
I mean, just absolutely amazing. And these are some good defenses he's doing this against as well. Seattle, Detroit, some big guys up front. Even this Chicago Bears team, tough to break 100 there. And then last week, I mean, just unbelievable. And he was mad at himself. He had a run that he felt should have gone for 94 yards. It was only about an 8 or 9 yarder. I tell you what, you want to talk about a guy who's driven? I mean, he accepted blame last week. He goes, I could have done more. I could have done more in the running game so we could have beaten the Green Bay Packers last week. I didn't see it. I don't know if he could have done anything.
Here's Peterson on 1st down. Cuts to the outside. And is forced out of bounds by Chris Conti after picking up 14 yards out of Minnesota first.
Moose, how about these cuts this guy is making? Adrian Peterson over and over. Take a look at this. Gets the ball, cut to the outside. Upfield, another cut to the outside. But never stops or slows down when he has the ball in his hands. Nice job, ball security, a little stiff arm right there to finish it off. I mean, he is running like a beast.
Urlacher can only watch. 89 yards on the ground for Peterson. Adds to his total right here as he is finally brought down at the 37. Peterson gains 14 more and goes over 100 in the first quarter alone.
So here's Nick Roach. He's going to come in and press here. Now Nick Roach is coming back. Adrian Peterson told us he was going to do this. I'm going to press it play side early in the game. Once I get them running, now I'm going to use my cutback. There's an example of it right there. We've seen him really press that play side. That's the first opportunity he had to cut back and make those Bear defenders pay for not being in their gap.
103 on the ground for Peterson in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns as well. Adrian Peterson with a career-high first quarter. Officially 104. Matching the NFL high this season. Chris Johnson of Tennessee had 104 rushing yards in the first quarter back in October against Buffalo. New set of downs for the Vikings as we start the second quarter. Play action, Ponder moving to his right. And the catch is made. And then it's dropped. Ruled incomplete. Jarius Wright unable to hang on after the hit from Geno Hayes.
Well, Christian Ponder gets a lot of the criticism about this Vikings passing game, but it has to be shared. You know, his receivers haven't been real helpful the last couple of games with plays like this, with these drops.
That almost looked like a fumble.
Watch one five. Watch one five. Okay, two kills.
Ponder changed the play on 2nd and 10. It's Peterson. Major Wright makes the tackle. Check in on the Redskins and Ravens with Kurt.
Well, because RG3 has played so well, people have forgotten about the rookie Alfred Morris and how well he has played this season. This is 7th rushing touchdown. He came in the league, 3rd leading rusher in the league, came into this game, and that one put him up 14-7. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Alfred Morris, 6th-round pick. Redskins remain hot. They won 3 in a row, lead 14-7. 2 road games, and then they'll finish it up with Dallas. Ponder being chased by Julius Peppers. Out of bounds at the 34, about 4 yards shy of the marker, so the Vikings send out the punting unit.
And Julius Peppers came all the way from the left side. Chasing Ponder down. He does a nice job of staying with it. I'll tell you what, nice job by Christian Ponder also of knowing that he doesn't have anything downfield. Go, tuck the ball, don't do anything bad, get out of bounds, punt the ball.
And here is Chris Cluey punting for the 2nd time. Angle toward the sideline. Hester lets it bounce. And if it's a Vikings roll, out of bounds inside the 5, it'll be marked at the 3.
That's why you never let the punt hit the ground. Devin Hester, I think he had too many players over there, was concerned about getting in there and making a mistake, so he had to let it hit and roll.
Great start for the Vikings, still in playoff contention. Bears tied for the division lead with the Packers, turned it over on their first drive and then followed it up with a pair of punts.
Yeah, we've challenged this offense. It's their turn to kind of carry the burden for the Chicago Bears team off to a slow start with those first 3 possessions.
And they start from their own 3-yard line following the punt and roll, and Forte takes it out to the 5.
We just don't see the explosive runs that we saw from Matt Forte last season. And it's got to be an element for this offense. You know, for forever. I mean, you think of the Bears and you think of great defense, great special teams, and a tough running game. And that running game hasn't been there this season on a consistent basis.
Bears with only 3 first downs today. Cutler just 4 of 11 in the air. On 2nd and 8, Cutler going deep for Marshall. And Brandon Marshall goes up and makes a spectacular catch at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to trust a guy, and Brandon Marshall has earned the trust of Jay Cutler. Watch the coverage. A.J. Jefferson and Harrison Smith. It's double teamed in a jump ball situation, and Brandon Marshall wins.
Does a nice job of getting his head around and identifying that it's a short ball, stopping his body, coming back, and making the catch.
Yeah, Harrison Smith did the opposite, Tony. He did not get his head around and track that ball coming in.
A 39-yard completion from Cutler to Marshall. From the 44, the delay to Forte. He's into Vikings territory and picks up the Bears' first down.
Isn't it funny, Tony, how when that first person makes that play, we just watched what the Bears have done in those first 3 possessions. You get the big shot down the field to Brandon Marshall, and all of a sudden, everything starts to work. Yeah, it's unbelievable when that first person steps up and makes that play.
Big plays are contagious.
39-yard completion to Marshall, and then Forte gains 15, his longest run of the game. From the Minnesota 41 on first down. Cutler steps up and throws it complete. It was short, intended for Hester.
Nice pressure by the Minnesota Vikings. 4-man rush right here. And Jay Cutler does a great job of going, seeing an opening, stepping up, getting away from all the pressure and looking downfield. I don't know if it was on the same wavelength as Devin Hester right there, but he had time to go and get it downfield.
Second and 10 from the Vikings 41. Cutler moving right, directing traffic, throws. It's Marshall again for a Bears first down, and Marshall is able to take it all the way inside the 20 to the Vikings' 18-yard line. So a nice catch and a terrific second effort as Marshall gains 23, and there is a flag at the end of the play.
Number 73, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
It's on the left tackle, Jamarcus Webb.
Yeah, Jared Allen just came through the line of scrimmage on the pressure and just got mugged. He was by him, and all of a sudden he just stopped. Take a look. Here's Jared Allen right here. Now he's by him right here. You got to let him go. He just gets pulled right there. Didn't think he was going to get the flag. He's already by him. See that arm that comes across right there? You can't do that. That's holding.
So the 23-yard completion is wiped out. It's now second down and 20. And Cutler uses the Bears' second timeout. Vikings lead by 2 touchdowns. Back in Minneapolis, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Bears trail 14-0. 4 yards on this drive for Chicago in their first 3 possessions. Second down and 20 following the timeout. As Cutler is wrapped up, down he goes. Everson Griffin with his 5th sack of the season.
Now, one of the guys that Jared Allen talks to us about all the time, how athletic he is, doesn't really know how good he can be, and he'll wander around, he'll be up and down in a 2-point stance, kind of work through the formation. There he comes in a 3-point working against Roberto Garza, but he is a good pass rusher.
Does a nice job with the dance, too. Got a little rhythm to him.
First sack for the Vikings today, now third down and 24 as Cutler hits the tight end Davis. Tackled at the 45-yard line. So the Bears forced to punt, hurt by the holding penalty on Marcus Webb.
That was a huge holding penalty. It's one of those ones, you know, people look at it, well, that was a 10-yard penalty. Yeah, but it negated a 23-yard gain. You were down inside the 20-yard line.
So instead, Podlish out to punt for the 3rd consecutive series. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for the Vikings. Their catch called for by Sherrill's at the 13. Frustrating start for Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears offense.
Business as usual for the Minnesota Vikings offense right there. You don't see that very often in the NFL. What a dominant rushing game they have here.
Well, now that defense in Chicago Bears is thinking, all right, you're going to stop Adrian Peterson. Now there's going to be opportunities for Ponder and his receiving crew to make some plays downfield.
They start from the 13. It's Peterson. Well, for Adrian Peterson, today his 7th consecutive 100-yard game on the ground. Coming into play today, Peterson with 947 rushing yards over the last 6. That's more yards than Ponder has during that stretch in the air.
Yeah, you can see the struggles in the passing game with Christian Ponder's yardage total there at 871, and their leading receiver, Kyle Rudolph, just about 30 yards a game, 31 yards a game.
Vikings went 2 and 4 over that 6-game stretch. Lead today 14-0. On 2nd and 5, Ponder throws to the outside, and it's Wright. Darius Wright, rookie out of Arkansas, picks up 13 yards out of Vikings first down.
There's the play action we talked about, Darryl. You know, that whole defense was biting on that run play, thinking that Adrian Peterson was getting the ball and opens it up on the outside.
New set of downs for the Vikings from the 31-yard line. It's Peterson. Peterson gains 5 out to the 36. Now has 117 yards on the ground today.
But we hear people talk about the 8-man front and how that's supposed to stop the running game. When you have a running back like Adrian Peterson and a group that's functioning as well as Minnesota's offensive line and tight ends and fullback are in the running game, it doesn't matter. We've seen it. Tony talked about it. They've run it into a 9-man front, and they're having success. So they're going to stay with this and continue to pound Chicago's front with this run game.
125. We're good. They're ready. Push up.
Second and 5, Peterson again. Out to the 39, setting up third down and 2.
One thing I see is decisiveness today, Tony, whether it's Christian Ponder in the pocket throwing the ball, and then again, Adrian Peterson. I mean, they are making decisions and just going with it.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing more frustrating for a defense in the front seven and the secondary. If you establish the run, then all of a sudden, you know, you got to stop the run. You're thinking you got to stop the run. Then all of a sudden, here comes the play action. You got to stop the pass. You're guessing out there. That's one thing you don't want to do as a defense is guess.
We saw the left guard, Charlie Johnson, hobbling, tried to come off the field, but was forced to stay out for this third down play as Ponder lays it up beautifully for Wright, who has another Minnesota Vikings first down. Takes it to the Bears 45, a gain of 16.
This is a nice play design by offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave with Jarius Wright. You take your wide receiver, you motion him into the backfield. Here he is. Well, that's going to be a back coming out of the backfield. Guess who has him? Lance Briggs. You know, that's a nice little matchup that you've created just from formation and a little bit of motion into the backfield.
Second catch for Wright today. Season high 7 receptions in the game in Chicago 2 weeks ago, as Ponder was nearly taken down by Briggs right after the snap. He fires downfield, and it's broken up. Pass was intended for the ex-Bear, Devin Aromashadu.
Nice job by Christian Ponder in the pocket, very composed here. Lance Briggs, 55, watch him hit it. He's coming clean. He's got a shot on Christian. He steps away, resets his feet, throws his ball down the field. Devin Aromashadu, you've got to make a play on the ball. I mean, I know Charles Tillman's there battling with you, but we've seen Brandon Marshall go up. You're going down.
Absolutely.
At the point of the catch.
Absolutely.
Charles Tillman shake it up.
125.
Major Wright off the field as well, as the play is blown dead. Penalty markers prior to the snap.
Full start, 71. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Right tackle Phil Lodeholm.
We saw Charles Tillman on the sideline. It looked like it was right at the tail end of the play. There's 33, Charles Tillman. We'll see how he lands. He collides with Devin Aromashadu.
Craig Stelz, guys. Craig Stelz is in for Major Wright at strong safety. He was hurt on the previous play. Peters into the 47.
You know, we talk about Adrian Peterson, Darryl, but, you know, standing here in the end zone and watching the plays develop, his offensive line is doing a tremendous job of staying on those guys up front, getting to the second level, pushing, and Adrian and those guys are working hand in hand with Adrian setting up the blocks and his offensive lineman just riding them, and he's making great cuts.
Both Tillman and Wright have returned for the Bears on defense. Third down and 12. Vikings must get to the 35. Ponder hit as he throws. There is a flag as the catch is made by Toby Gerhart.
Holding, number 75, offense. That penalty decline, fourth down.
On the left tackle, Matt Khalil. Penalty decline. Vikings will punt.
He's going to be on the far side. Your tackle working against Julius Peppers.
Yeah, it looks like he grabbed his helmet there at the end of the play. Can't do that. Luckily, he didn't get called for a face mask.
Hester back deep. He has 4 career return touchdowns against the Vikings. Low snap, Cooley gets the kick away. Taken at the 15 by Hester. And Hester with a 17-yard return. Out to the 32, Marvin Mitchell, the tackle. All Adrian Peterson. 2 touchdowns for Peterson, 14-0 Vikings. Adrian Peterson with both Viking touchdowns. He scored on the opening drive of this game. Then the Bears turned it over on their opening possession for the 5th time this season. That leads the league. A Josh Robinson pick set up the 2nd Peterson score. Bears start from their own 31. It's 4-10. Gage 2. Jasper Brinkley brought him down.
And they've got to be able to take advantage of this. Tony talked about, that push up inside and, maybe needing to get out on the edge. Take advantage of these big tight ends. They're not having the production in the passing game, but in the run game, Kellen Davids, Matt Spaeth, these are some big guys. Take advantage of these guys on the edge in the running game.
Broken down at 8. Butler's pass is caught. Hester does a 360. And it extends for a Bears first down. Brought to go left and right, spun himself around and picks up a first.
Yeah, having a little fun with Antoine Winfield right there. Looks like he got dizzy. He had to get his bearings straight at the end of this thing, Kenny. Makes the catch, then on the spin right here, it's like, whoa, hey.
Little twist.
Third catch for Hester. Leads the Bears today in receptions. From the 42 on first down. Penalty flags. As Cutler fires, it's off the hands of Jeffrey.
Offside, 96 defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Brian Robinson.
Yeah, they got to get that corrected because that was Aaron Rodgers just crushed them last week with cadence, and you got to learn. And he's pointing at the tight end, flinched. Well, you don't have to go into the neutral zone to try and convince the referee that the tight end flinched. Just stand up and point at him. So in case he didn't or he doesn't believe you, you're not going to get the flag.
1st and 5 following the penalty off the fake to Forte. Butler with time. Now he throws and the catch is made by Marshall for a Bears first down at the Vikings 42. A 12-yard completion.
When you want to hold the ball a little bit longer, you need to move the pocket, and they do a good job. Devin Hester right there, number 23. He was your short guy. They picked him off coming across. So now Jay Cutler's got to adjust. He's on the outside. Now Brandon Marshall's got to ad-lib it a little bit, and they're able to get a completion right here. But, you need to compliment Brandon Marshall and Adrian Peterson both right now, because they're two guys that each defense knew they had to stop. And right now, neither defense can stop the biggest playmaker on the other team's offense.
From the Vikings 42. Cutler steps up. Hennessy throws. Ball is loose. And it is recovered by Jonathan Scott, the Bears right tackle.
That's a heads-up play by Jonathan Scott. That ball's on the ground. Get on it.
Watch Big 79. He's got to do it. It's his guy that gets the fumble caused.
Everyone's just standing around. They don't. That's a fumble.
And was not yet moving forward. And then a heads-up play by Scott, starting his 3rd straight game at right tackle. With the recovery. There's gain yardage on the play. Now 2nd and 2, inside handoff to Forte. Not much.
Devin Williams, man, he was in the backfield, I think, before the ball was handed off.
And
nice jump on the ball.
And we're right in that tough spot again with Robbie Gould having that strained left calf. You're on the cusp of whether you can go for the field goal or are you going to go for 4th down. It's the Bears got to convert here because you're going to force a real difficult decision if you don't get this first down.
Bears do not have to run a play as we approach the 2-minute warning. We saw Gould on the sidelines. Bobby Smith passed up a 53-yard attempt earlier. Cutler on 3rd down and 3. He throws, and it's Marshall again.
Triple coverage this time, Dow.
Great hands. Marshall makes his 4th catch of this first half for a gain of 12. So a new set of downs for the Bears. 2-minute warning in Minneapolis. Chicago Bears on the move. This is their deepest penetration into Vikings territory today. 1st and 10 from the Minnesota 23. Bears have one timeout remaining. 4 receivers set with the tight end Davis split wide to the left. Cutler from the shotgun on 1st down. Cutler throws to the end zone, touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey.
You talked about the 4 wide receiver set, Kenny. You had trips to the left. You had Alshon Jeffrey to the right, all by himself. There he is at the top of the screen, working against Josh Robinson. The way he played that, I think he expected Harrison Smith to be there a lot sooner. Not real aggressive on that release.
Hey, he tried to stun him on the line of scrimmage, never got his hands on him.
Third touchdown for Jeffrey, who had missed 6 of the last 7 games. Here's Gold. First time we've seen Robbie today. The left calf strain suffered a warm-ups. He is straight through on the extra point. So the Bears pulled to within a touchdown as we check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt, what's coming up on the Visa Halftime Report?
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, all the scores and highlights from around the league. Plus, can RG3 come up with a W in the Battle of the Beltway? And was it a big return for Big Ben against the Chargers? We'll find that out and a whole lot more as these guys will join us on the Visa Halftime.
Thanks very much, Kurt. Ravens leading that Battle of the Beltway 21-14 at the 2-minute warning. Bears drive 7 plays, 69 yards. Cutler perfect on the drive. Give a big assist to the right tackle Jonathan Scott for his hustle on that fumble recovery after the hit on Cutler.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of those plays that's going to get forgotten during the course of this game, but great hustle by Jonathan Scott to keep that drive alive. You can see what Alshon Jeffrey brings to that outside receiver position. You get him opposite Brandon Marshall. Now you've got Devin Hester working that slot area and all the things that they can do with his athletic ability. That's a nice group of 3 receivers.
Podlesh kicks it off. Taken on the run by Jefferson. Jefferson bounces to the outside. Ball comes loose.
That ball was on the ground for a long time.
And it is recovered by Christian Ballard of the Vikings. And Ballard takes it all the way up to the 39-yard line.
Might have a new fullback on the roster there, Darryl.
That was a
nice
play.
job.
Yeah, you know what, he did it the right way. He goes down to the ground, recovers the football, and then nobody touches him, so he pops up. But watch how long this ball was out. Zach Bowman on the hit right there, knocks it out. Nobody realizes this ball is on the ground. It is down for a long time.
Just sitting there.
But look at that. There he comes, slides in. I've got it recovered. Now nobody's going to touch me. I'm up on my feet. I'm out of here.
He's carrying that ball like a loaf of bread right there, though. You got to love it when the big guys go and get a chance like that to go and run the ball.
Ballard, a backup defensive lineman, 2nd season out of Iowa.
Inside of 2 minutes, only the fumbling player can advance the ball. We will go back and spot the ball at the spot of the recovery, or spot at the fumble. It's behind the spot where the recovery was made.
That's not fair. If you're over 250 pounds, they should give you the run. You got to change that rule.
They would do a little addendum. Inside 2 minutes, if you weigh over 250 pounds, you are allowed to advance the ball if you weren't the initial ball carrier.
Exactly. Poor guys on the sideline getting oxygen, and it didn't even count. What a shame.
But again, as was the case with Jonathan Scott, a very important recovery by Ballard.
Well, you talk about a team that's really controlled this entire first half, the Minnesota Vikings, 14-0, that early part of the game, but now it's kind of settled into what kind of game it's going to be. Chicago gets that touchdown. If Chicago gets that recovery and they go in and we got 14-14 at half, it's a completely different story. So Christian Ballard didn't get the yardage, but a great recovery.
And now Adrian Peterson takes it out to the 26, 3 yards for Peterson, adding to his first half numbers, now with 125 yards on the ground. Started things off with a 51-yard run on the first play from scrimmage. Scored 2 first-quarter touchdowns against the Bears team that had allowed only 28 points in the first quarter all season. Ponder able to get rid of it. It's Peterson. Charles Tillman goes for the strip, but unfortunately for Charles, Peterson was already out of bounds.
They're really getting and collapsing this pocket down. Julius Peppers coming from the top. That's the last couple of plays against Matt Khalil that he's gotten him just on pure speed. And again, nobody better in the business than getting that ball out.
Been a fumble forward, out of bounds.
Whoa. Tillman with 8 forced fumbles this season, which leads the league. So now 3rd down and 5. Under a minute to go. First half. Kobe Gerhardt up the middle on 3rd and 5. Gerhardt looks to have a Vikings first down. Well, on January 4th, one of the best bowl games of the year is on Fox as Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel leads 9th-ranked Texas A&M against the 11th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. The AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic, January 4th, only on Fox. Congratulations to Johnny Football, the first freshman to ever win the Heisman, although Adrian Peterson came close as a freshman back in 2004, lost out to Matt Leinart.
He did. That's quite an accomplishment by Johnny Manziel. A lot of great football players coming through that didn't win that their freshman year.
New set of downs for the Vikings. 42 seconds remaining, and now penalty markers prior to the snap.
Neutral zone infraction, number 90, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Julius Peppers is at the top, number 90. He gets a little flinch, and then Matt Khalil comes up. I think Christian thought it was against his guys.
On 1st and 5, Ponder fires downfield, and it is picked off by Major Wright.
That is the throw that Christian Ponder has got to get out of his repertoire. And he talked about it last week when he was rolling to the right and he threw back across in the middle of the field. And again, this is on first down. And there's Chris Conti down. But here you go, watch. Middle of the field, a floater. And off his back foot on top. I mean, I don't know, your feet aren't set. You're just kind of lobbing it into the middle of the field. I mean, look at all the Bear defenders.
Why not just run out the clock at that point? Under 40 seconds remaining. Bears with only 1 timeout.
You can see why Chris Conti's still down, Kenny. That's a big collision right there at the point of the catch with Major Wright.
And remember, Wright left the game earlier. Conti suffered a concussion earlier this season.
But that's first down. There's no need for that throw. And Christian talked about it last week and took ownership of the bad decisions last week. And that's another one right there. That's a first down throw into the middle of the field. A lot of things that a quarterback knows he shouldn't do in that situation.
But now the Bears with 32 seconds remaining, only 1 timeout. Cutler sets up the screen to Forte on first down. And Matt able to gain 8 out to the 28-yard line. Remember, the Bears will get the ball to start the second half as well. A late touchdown here in the second quarter. Cutler to Jeffrey.
And I'm sure this situation right here is being influenced by the injury to Robbie Gould, Kenny, because, you know, there's really not a sense of urgency right there in this 2-minute situation because, you know, what are you going to do with your field goal kicker who probably is not going to be effective except for short distances?
Brandon Marshall makes the catch as the first half comes to an end. So momentum late in the second quarter for the Bears, who fell behind after 1 thanks to the pair of Peterson touchdowns, 14-0. But Chicago comes back with a late score in the second quarter, and then they force a turnover. Major Wright with the interception, his 4th of the season, and the Bears will get the ball first to start the third quarter. So the Vikings lead by a touchdown. The Visa halftime report is coming up right after these messages. We are back in Minneapolis. Vikings lead the Bears 14-7. Bears will receive the kickoff. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL.
It's kind of a scary picture of Adrian Peterson coming through that tunnel. Now you know what Chris Conte and Major Wright have to deal with all day.
Well, that's his nickname all day. And he's gained 125 of the Vikings' 174 yards in the first half.
I mean, they're one-dimensional. We showed you some graphics during the course of that first half. You know, he's been all their offense pretty much over the last 6 weeks.
Kickoff taken at the 2 by Eric Weems. And Weems is down shy of the 15-yard line. Well, we've been talking about him for the last hour and a half. Adrian Peterson, tremendous start. 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And for the Bears, you said they need their offense to lead the way today, and they scored a big touchdown at the end of that second quarter.
Yeah, one of the reasons that Adrian Peterson is having success with Brian Urlacher out of there, continue to take advantage of, they're going to come out and run the ball. But really the big question I have is, can this Bears offense kind of take over this game right now? It was a bad start for Chicago. They fought back into this game late in that first half. What do they do here with this opening possession? Because I really think it's time for them to step up and carry this team when their defense is missing some of its key guys.
Their start from the 14-yard line. Cover hands it off to Forte. Jasper Brinkley wraps him up. Gain of 6. Out to the 20, Goose.
Talked to Leslie Frazier coming out actually, and asked him about the second half. Minnesota came out early, scored a couple touchdowns, but then a big lull there in the second quarter. Asked him what his plans were offensively for the second half, and he said, Goose, we're going to run the ball, and then when we think we ran the ball enough, we're going to keep running the ball. So, and also he said if we get an opportunity to play action, but we're going to stick with the run, and obviously I think that's a good choice, Terrell.
Play action on 2nd and 3 as Cutler throws, and a good defensive play is made by Winfield as he got the handout in front of Marshall.
It looks like it's going to boil down to which defense can finally slow down and stop the biggest threat on the opposition's offense. And Antoine Winfield right here, a nice play on the ball in coverage against Brandon Marshall.
Marshall 5 catches, 94 yards in the first half. 3rd down and 3. Hester in motion. 2 receivers to the right. Cutler on 3rd down, hits Forte, and he picks up a first down. Out to the 27-yard line. So a new set of downs for Chicago on their opening drive here in the second half.
I like this play design. You had the trips to the right side on the offense, and then you motion Devin Hester across and balance that formation. You get the defense looking at all these different spots, and then you just slip Matt Forte out into the flat. He's wide open. They dropped him in coverage.
Now Davis motions to the left. From the 27 on 1st down, it's Forte. Stays on his feet, he spins, and has another Bears first down. Nice run by Forte as he picks up 10.
Looking here from the end zone, look at the splits. You can see right here how tight it is and how big it is right here. They're trying to get them defensive linemen to move a little bit, okay, and open up the gaps a little bit for Matt Forte. He decides to bounce it to the outside, but if you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker and you see those kinds of splits, you got to challenge that. There's no way an offensive lineman can go and cover up a split that's that big.
Cutler on 1st down for a wide open Marshall. He makes himself look wide open, even with a couple of defenders in the vicinity. Marshall picks up 16 into Vikings territory.
I don't think that Antoine Winfield can believe that Jay Cutler got this ball over the top of him. He has him right there in coverage. Now as he's drifting back, I mean, look at the touch right there. I mean, that had to go just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Antoine Winfield.
So Marshall goes over 100 yards for the 7th time this season. That ties a franchise record. Cutler's got his way 6 times today, 97 times this season. Forte. Brinkley again, he's had an active game with his Vikings defense. As Forte takes it to the 46-yard line. Shaping up to be another big day for Brandon Marshall.
12 catches last time these two teams played a couple of weeks ago. A lot more yardage today, though. He's making some of those big splash plays on the outside.
Second down and 9 for Cutler and the Bears. Underneath to Forte, and again it's Brinkley. Gain of just a yard.
He has played well in both phases of the defense. You know, against the run, we saw it on the last play. Here he is in pass coverage. Number 54 right in the center of your screen. He's got Matt Forte. Just kind of eye him up, get right behind him, put yourself in a good position to make that tackle if it's dumped down.
He had 7 tackles in the first half, already 3 on this drive. Third down and 8. Bears must get to the 37. Cutler fires downfield. Too far for Jeffrey. Jefferson on the coverage, no flags.
Really letting them play on the outside right there. A.J. Jefferson, Alshon Jeffrey going at it one-on-one on the outside. And checking on both sides. The good thing, you know, you don't get that arm bar up. You're not getting that up there as the defender trying to ride that wide receiver out of bounds.
Bodlish punting for the 4th time. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. Fair catch at the 11. So the Vikings defense holds. Brinkley in on a number of plays. Vikings by 7. Continues to fall outside Mall of America Field. Vikings will spend 1 more year here as Brian Urlacher chats up one of the officials. Then they'll move outdoors for 2 years. Stadium expected to open on this site in 2016. As Adrian Peterson gains 4 yards out to the 15. Peterson with a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter on each of the first 2 Minnesota drives.
Yeah, but you know what? This is committing to the run, and you can see a slowdown in production, but still, you know, I'm a firm believer that you can't say, hey, if you just take that 51-yard run out that he had on the first play of the game, then we're okay. No, that's not how this guy functions. You know, we showed you how he's gotten better and better from month to month. He'll do that during the course of the game, too. You better be careful. You heard Tony mention that Leslie Frazier said we're going to run it and then run it some more.
Ponder throws on 2nd and 6. There is a flag. Pass was intended for the tight end, John Carlson. Flag is thrown to the secondary.
I don't know who he was throwing this ball at.
Prior to the pass, holding number 47, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Free safety, Chris Conti.
Working in the slot right there as John Carlson goes to break outside. You can see him hook him a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple of Bears defensive players have been ruled out with injuries. Craig Stelz, chest injury. Sherrick McManus, a knee. Shane McClellan suffered a knee injury earlier. His return is questionable. Movement or flags.
Full start, 71. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
Right
Still
tackle,
first down.
Phil Lodeholt. Time for a game break with Patrick O'Neill. Patrick.
All right, Kenny, thanks a lot. The 11-1 Atlanta Falcons getting hammered by the Carolina Panthers. A Cam Newton 72-yard touchdown. Steve Smith, nice block downfield. A flip into the end zone for Super Cam, 23-0. But Falcons now with first and goal in the third. Kenny, Moose, and Goose, back to you.
Cam Newton looking like the Cam Newton of 2011. Gets the 11-1 Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the reasons why we're not ready to automatically assume that the Atlanta Falcons at 11-1 are the most dangerous team in the NFC.
Falcons suffered their only loss at the hands of the Saints. Big game next week, Falcons and Giants. Falcons 11-1, Houston Texans 11-1. Both have clinched playoff berths, as have the Broncos and the Patriots. Both these teams still on the hunt as Peterson takes it up the middle. Bears tied for the division lead. Vikings in a logjam at 6-6 with a number of other clubs. Vikings lead this game 14-7. And Leslie Frazier told us, in my mind, we need to go 4-0.
Yeah, you look at that bottom, the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL.
Two on the road at St. Louis, at Houston, finish up at home with the Packers, 4 flags.
And their timing is off. I mean, we had the offsides earlier, but it looks like their whole right side of the line is scrimmage.
Full start, 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It's Lodeholt again, second penalty on this drive, his third of the game.
Yeah, I think the one before that they called Lodeholt. I don't think it was him. I think he was the only one who didn't jump off sides on that offensive line. But you got to, as an offensive lineman, you got to have your head back inside, get a little bit of timing with the cadence. Take a look. He's on the left-hand side right here. Yeah, just looked like that ball was snapped very slow, slower than the rest of the line anticipated.
We're now third down and 11 following the penalty. Vikings must get to the 30. Ponder under pressure. And the Vikings once again forced to punt.
They're bringing people into the face of Christian Ponder. This is coming from the defensive left side. You look at everybody at the top of your screen right there. Yeah, Corey Wooten comes free. And
the one thing Christian Ponder can't do, Moose, is somebody threw that ball. It was like a floater again, like we saw right before the half. He's got to get that ball and get it down there. Defensive backs don't have a chance to go and break on it.
Bluey waiting back at his 5-yard line. Hester deep for the Bears. Good kick. From the 26, Devin Hester. A return of 10. Out to the 36, a 55-yard punt. Good job by the Bears defense. Chicago trails by 7. Christian Ponder and the Vikings leading the Bears 14-7. Bears will start from their own 35-yard line. Brandon Marshall in motion. On first down, the handoff to Forte. Gains a couple out to the 37-yard line. Jared Allen, the tackle.
We'll see if this Bears offense can get this running game going. Take a look at Matt Forte today, right at 4 yards a carry.
Bears with a late touchdown in the second quarter as Jared Allen gets the fans revved up here in Minneapolis. On second down, Cumber looking for the tight end, Kellen Davis.
That's a good decision because everything was short. Everybody jumped the short routes, and you slip that tight end down the seam.
Not even the 6'7" Davis could make the play on that one. Hands on their feet, third down and 9. Cutler throws, and it's broken up. Intended for Marshall. It was A.J. Jefferson on the coverage. He got a piece of it.
All right, here's a nice game plan by Mike Tice, the offensive coordinator. He was worried about this A-gap blitz, so what he has to do is bring the wide receiver in to chip on Jared Allen, because all your linemen, they can't come out and help because they have to protect those inside gaps. But you've got to be able to control Jared Allen if you're going to be able to make a throw down the field to Brandon Marshall.
Mentioned Mike Tice, former tight end, assistant coach and head coach here in Minnesota. Modler's punting from his own 27. Their catch is called for at the 20-yard line by Sherrills. Join the NFL in celebrating 50 years of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In this golden anniversary, visit Canton. Join the more than 10 million fans who have made the pilgrimage to the birthplace of the National Football League. Visit profootballhof.com for more details. Players this week and next week wearing a special 50th year of the Pro Football Hall of Fame patch on their jerseys.
If you've never been, I highly recommend it.
Absolutely. Vikings start from their 20-yard line, leading by a touchdown. Off the play fake, Ponder. Peterson, first down.
Now, when you go to the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, there is one person that is missing. If the Hall of Fame is about the best player at your position, why is not that guy in the Hall of Fame? I think if you ask everybody who is the greatest punter in the history of the NFL, it would be Ray Guy. I agree with Chris Kluwe.
Kluwe, the Vikings punter, big supporter of Ray Guy. Had an article published recently written by Kluwe in support of Guy. How about Lance Briggs to talk about the Hall of Fame? He might be there after his career is done.
Yeah, there's a couple guys on this defense that got excellent chances of being in the Hall of Fame. And here's, you play it and you come through, you shoot your gap, but that's only half the job. You know, you've got to get Adrian Peterson to the ground, and Lance Briggs continues to work.
Yeah, he eventually gets it done, and he ain't going down very easily, though.
Briggs down another future Hall of Famer. 9 tackles for Briggs today in the absence of Urlacher. On 2nd and 16, Peterson going nowhere. Israel Adonijah brings him down.
They can't do this, Tony. They can't become a one-dimensional team. You know, that's what you guys try to do as a defense, is force an offense to be one-dimensional. You know, Minnesota's doing it by choice right now, and Chicago's defense is too good.
Yeah, what they're doing right now as a defensive line is they're penetrating. See Israel Adonijah right there, going and getting, not letting Adrian Peterson sit in the backfield and cut and find the hole. When you penetrate, he has to establish himself now.
Short pass on 3rd down and 17. And the Vikings once again will punt it away following the reception by Jenkins. So another terrific series for the Bears defensively after allowing the 2 early touchdowns. Call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile now and get coverage of every NFL game. Well, since the Vikings scored their 2nd touchdown on their 2nd possession, they have crossed midfield just once.
The offense, it's not going to take Chicago long to figure out what their issues were early on, and they seem to have gotten those resolved, and it's been tough to get that running game going.
Kluwe wearing the full Ray Guy patch, punting it away. Here's Hester. And Hester takes it out to the 30 with just under 5 minutes remaining. 3rd quarter, a 56-yard punt by Kluwe. Bears defense celebrates. Back in Minneapolis, under 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Bears start from their own 31, trailing by 7. Cutler can't find anyone downfield, breaks free, and makes something out of nothing. Cutler gained 6 out to the 37 after it looked like he would potentially get sacked.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, he takes a negative play and gets some positive yards out of it, and he's going to end up with Christian Ballard right in his face right here. Makes a little inside move there.
Yeah, he does an amazing job of getting out of it. That pocket just collapsed around him, and there was nowhere for him to go, and he just did a great job of going and finding a little crease, getting to the outside.
Good escapability. Yeah. I think he's underrated as a quarterback in the pocket that can escape.
Armando Allen in the backfield for the first time on 2nd and 4 as Cutler hands it off to Allen, the third-string running back. And he's down about a yard and a half shy of the marker. Matt Forte.
3rd and 1, and Matt Forte's not in, Darryl.
Yeah. Interesting decision. Or Michael Bush.
Yeah.
Michael Bush has been their short yardage goal line guy.
Bears stick with Allen. 3rd and a long one. Cutler sets up in the shotgun. Marshall in the slot now in motion to the left. Cutler on 3rd down. Picked off by Harrison Smith. It was intended for Marshall. And it's Smith, the rookie out of Notre Dame, down the sidelines. And he takes it all the way for a Vikings touchdown.
Well, Brandon Marshall goes in motion, so they're able to trail him as he goes across. And now we're going to have the pressure come into Jay Cutler's face. Kind of stands there flat-footed. It sails on him a little bit, but again, here you go. You've got one guy we've been throwing to all afternoon. When that sails, look at all the Minnesota Viking players that are around that ball.
They do a great job of just turning, getting on somebody. Smith does a nice job of following his blocks also, way down here at the end of the run. Look at those guys right in front of him, huh?
Second touchdown of the season for Harrison Smith on his 3rd interception. Lost the extra point. So the Vikings defense comes up big. Smith with the interception and a 56-yard return for a touchdown. Jay Cutler picked off for the 2nd time today. Harrison Smith takes it back 56 yards. Vikings again lead by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, not only interceptions, but that one taken all the way back, and the one earlier by Josh Robinson almost taken all the way back too.
Robinson stepped out at the 5. Had a touchdown erased. Here's Eric Weems from the 7. Weems up the sideline and then finally forced out of bounds after he crossed the 35. So good field position for the Bears.
Well, it looked like the Bears had too many guys on the field.
Holding, number 89, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And then Brandon Marshall decided to go and get off the field, got off just in time so they didn't get another flag. See Brandon Marshall right here, notices they got 12 guys on the field, gets off in time, but they still get a holding call.
And Spaeth, the guilty Bear, so Cutler and the Chicago offense back out. Total 500, Sunday, February 24th on Fox. Green Bay Packers host Detroit tonight. They have a big interest in this game. Packers and Bears, both with 8-4 records. Bears behind 21-7 as Forte takes it across the 45, and there's a late flag after Forte was forced out of bounds. 36 yards and a flag at the end of the play.
This is nice blocking across the board.
Personal foul, 69, defense, hitting the runner out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watch Jared Allen. He gets called for the late hit out of bounds. Remember Allen with the hit. Very controversial block on Lance Lewis 2 weeks ago at Soldier Field, knocking Lewis out for the season.
I don't know. It looked like Matt Forte was still in bounds when Jared Allen hit him. I don't think that was a penalty.
I agree, Tony. He was not making an effort to get out of bounds.
Yeah, no, he had an angle of pursuit where he couldn't have gone unless he made a definite dodge to the outside Matt Forte, but I thought that was a bad call.
15 yards tacked on at the end of the 36-yard run, and now more flags. It's a false start against the Bears.
False start, 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So the Vikings get 5 of the yards back as the right guard, Gabe Karimi, jumped early.
I don't want to take anything away from Matt Forte on that nice run he had, but let me tell you something. Anton Winfield got out leveraged tremendously on that play. There's no way that play should have went for the yardage that it did. And he just got beat outside by a running back.
Yeah, and he's usually very, very good in his angles with support.
First and 15 for the Vikings 39. It's Forte. Another flag. We've had penalty markers thrown now on 3 consecutive plays. And it looks like this, once again,
Holding.
is against Chicago.
Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's on James Brown, who's back in at left guard. So 2 consecutive penalties puts the Bears right back where they started prior to the penalty call on Jared Allen. 15-yard personal foul. Bears then lose 5 and 10 more.
Yeah, I think that Mike Tice has to get onto that sheet and find those perimeter runs. I mean, that's the area that they've had some success today. Not just that long run that we just had with Matt Forte, but at other times during the game, it's been on the edges. They've struggled to run between the tackles.
Forte in the backfield, 3 receivers set. First down and 25. Set up the screen to Davis. And Davis, with a couple of nice moves, finally tackled just inside the 40. So, Kellen Davis able to gain 10 on his second reception today.
And when you have an aggressive defense that likes the pursuit of the ball, and both of these defenses are that style, the double screen is a nice play. Because when you see those linemen leave and you see that screen element move, you automatically start to chase in pursuit. And then when you've got the backside set up the exact same way, it puts so much pressure on that defense.
You know, you see all the players, we're just showing them on the screen, and every one of them is looking up at the board, you know, to see what happened on that play and get information as much as you can about what they need to do. After every play, that defensive guys are always looking up at the board.
Cutler with time on 2nd and 15. Directing traffic. Now he fires downfield for Jeffrey, and he's unable to make the catch.
Both of the receivers for the Bears, whether it's Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Marshall, they do a great job of finding the ball. And one of the things that's happened with Minnesota is they're losing track of it. This is an ad-lib play. You know, we've got pressure. Jay Cutler's moving around. Mistrell Raymond, he loses sight of the ball, and Alshon Jeffrey has it all the way. I mean, you're very lucky that that doesn't end up being a touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey should have made that catch.
Got his eyes on it right there. Hits him right in the hands. Got to make that play. You're absolutely right, Coach.
On 3rd and 15, Cutler looks to step away from pressure, then throws it away. Harrison Smith on the blitz.
I'm telling you, this kid is going to be a very good player.
Yep.
He's going to have a nice career here. He's good in every element of the game that a safety needs to be. He's a good blitzer. He's a good run supporter. We saw him with the run after the catch on the interception.
Here he comes scot-free off the left-hand side. You know, sort of gets juked a little bit, but gets a handout, gets a piece of jersey, and doesn't let go, and affects the throw of Jay Cutler.
Sherrill's back deep for the Vikings. Podlish punting from midfield. Sherrill's lets it go.
Oh, well done.
Kept out of the end zone by the former Viking, Zach Bowman. Down inside the 2 by Eric Weems. Terrific job by the Bears on special teams.
Heads up right here. Nice job of going up, making sure your feet aren't in the end zone, knowing that somebody else is going to be out there, tossing it outside, establishing the ball out there. That puts that offense in a tough situation right there on the 1-yard line.
Number 38, Bowman, who spent the entire offseason at training camp with the Vikings. Returned to the Bears, and he makes the play before his feet came down in the end zone.
Huge opportunity right here for the Chicago's defense.
Ponder and the Vikings start from their own 1-yard line. The handoff to Peterson, fights his way out of the end zone and gives Minnesota a little breathing room as Peterson takes it out for the 5 with 35 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter.
It's amazing. Adrian Peterson stopped 1 yard in the end zone, and you let him out. You know, you got a pursuit of the ball a little bit better. You got to come through there and get him wrapped up. I know it's not easy, but you got to keep him pinned back.
Vikings must run a play, 1 second differential between the game clock and the play clock. On 2nd and 6 is Peterson. Nothing on that run. As we hit the end of the 3rd quarter in Minneapolis. Bears without Brian Urlacher. They trail the Vikings by 14. A defensive touchdown for the Vikings in the 3rd quarter. 56-yard interception returned by Harrison Smith, giving the Vikings a 14-point lead. Now 3rd down and 7 for Minnesota. Ponder from his end zone throws, and the pass is caught for a 1st down by Michael Jenkins.
They've got to be able to be complementary in the pass game, and you just can't come out at the NFL level and be one-dimensional and just expect to beat the Bears defense just running the football. Christian Ponder and this group of receivers and tight ends have to be able to make plays in the passing game.
Adrian Peterson out, Toby Gerhart in. On 1st down, this is Gerhart. Flag at the end of the play. After Gerhart gained 6.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 33, defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
You'll see him come in on the left right here. Now, Toby Gerhart was not down on the ground, but they did blow the whistle. So when the whistle blows, the ball is dead. The play stops, but Tillman kept going and got the flag.
Peterson back in the game. Looked like the medical staff of the Vikings were checking out his neck area. Ponder was under pressure from Matt Toina, and his pass incomplete off to the right side. 2nd and 10. Coming up for the Vikings, who lead by 2 touchdowns, and the 3 other teams that came into play today at 6 and 6 in the NFC are all losing. Redskins trailing the Ravens by 1. Bengals lead the Cowboys by 9, and it's the Eagles 10-7 over the Bucs. So a huge opportunity today for these Vikings, with the other 3 500 teams all losing at the moment.
No, they've lost control of their own destiny. They're going to need some help, and they're getting some of that help today.
On 2nd and 10, it's Peterson. And Peterson takes it out across the 40 and dives forward for Vikings 1st down.
Those are some of the hidden things with Adrian Peterson. I mean, this looks like it's going to be like a 9-yard run. I mean, watch the end of it. I mean, he's always surging forward. He's always pressing forward. You would think that Chicago, hey, we got him. It's a 9-yard run. But watch right here, just that little bit. I mean, that's an extra 2.5, 3 yards. Moves the chains, keeps you out of those. Yeah, 3rd and 1 is not a tough down, or not an easy down in the NFL.
Goes and posts his hand down and gets some extra yards.
Peterson now with 144 yards on the ground. He went over 100 in the 1st quarter. Here's Peterson up the middle, breaks 3.
How did he get through that, Moose? I couldn't see it from down here in the end zone, but I thought he was stopped for no gain. All of a sudden, he just pops right through.
There's a lot of them. You know, you don't see a whole lot there, but all of a sudden it's a 6-yard gain.
Look at the pile of people right here. He just finds a little crease and just keeps moving.
Now at 149, averaging 5.5 per carry.
Look at that, 101 of them after contact.
On 2nd and 5, play action. Ponder's pass is caught by the tight end, Rhett Ellison. But he's tackled back at the 45, loses 2 yards.
That's a good play. Actually, Israel Adonijah is the one who gets it all started for Chicago by playing his assignment and staying home on the bootleg, and he forces Christian Ponder back deep and disrupts the timing of that entire play.
So now 3rd down and 7 for the Vikings. Under 12 minutes remaining, 4th quarter, leading by 2 touchdowns.
Said you're going to have to take a timeout here. Play clock's all the way down to 1.
So Ponder heads over to the sidelines. And we will take a break. Back in a moment from Minneapolis. A snow emergency has been declared in Minneapolis. Tony, I hope you're not parked out on the street.
That's my ride to the airport right there. You just saw they're clearing it out, Kenny.
Darrell and I may need to tag along.
No problem.
3rd down and 6. The Vikings must get to the Bears. 48. And they do. What a catch.
What a throw on the pressure, too, by Christian Ponder.
Ponder hitting Jenkins for a Vikings 1st down.
I agree with the catch there, right there. A nice high ball goes up strong, makes it at the highest point. There's that pressure you were talking about, Tony. He's got 2-3 Chicago Bears right in his face.
Yeah, no, scot-free, hands up, and he got that ball over them right to Jenkins.
4th catch of the game for Jenkins. This is the Vikings' deepest penetration since their 2nd drive of the game. And play of this drive for the Vikings as Ponder hands it off to Peterson, and he is taken down for a loss by Nick Roach, who's in for Brian Urlacher.
They got so many guys defensively on the line of scrimmage to stop that run. It's making it very difficult to block everyone up there, and hard for Adrian Peterson. You see how he's getting stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That this is an opportunity. If they're going to go and commit to stopping the run, they got to put it in the air a little bit. These receivers got to start making some plays.
Loss of 3 on a tackle by Roach, who moved over to the middle. 2nd down and 13. Play action. Ponder looking for the tight end. Kyle Rudolph, and Ponder took a hit. There is a flag. Well, check that. No flag was thrown.
No flag it either. Not back in the pocket or downfield where Kyle Rudolph is. I thought that there was some things going on down where Kyle Rudolph was. Good job by Nick Roach just not slamming the quarterback to the ground.
Rudolph without a catch today. He's been one of Ponder's favorite targets this season. 2nd on the team in receptions, but nothing today for Rudolph. Now 3rd down and 13. This is Gerhardt as the Vikings keep it on the ground.
I think Toby Gerhardt on that one, Moose, missed the cutback. He had a puller coming across the formation and just stayed outside. I think he would have had an opportunity to make that 1st down.
So the Vikings, who've been outgained by 50 yards, have a 2-touchdown lead. Remember, they started this drive back at their own 1, so they gained 58 yards, but are setting up to punt.
Yeah, but they flip field position, Kenny, and it's a 2-possession game right now. And that's a nice job by this offense. We'll see how they do the execution here with the punt team.
And they also took 6 minutes off the clock. Hester lets it go. And another terrific play on special teams, this time by the Vikings, Jamarcus Sanford.
Now that's really nice complimentary football. You're talking about starting your drive inside the 1-yard line. Get that drive going, convert your punt team. Now you force your opposition inside the 5.
Vikings lead the Bears 21-7. Chicago will start from their own 5-yard line. Trailing by 2 touchdowns. Cutler throwing from the end zone, complete to Davis. Hard man to bring down. And Davis will be marked down at the 9. Actually lost a yard after he made the catch.
Now that's a big man right there, Darrell, with some pretty good feet. Look at his balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys finally got him down.
Davis gains 4, heads to the sidelines. Second down and 6. Cutler escapes, now throws, it's nearly picked off by Sanford. Intended for Marshall. Looked like Marshall got a hand on it, as did Jamarcus Sanford.
Now, I want you to watch the difference. We've seen Christian Ponder in the pocket. Here's the difference between Christian Ponder and Jay Cutler. Look at the poise in the pocket. I mean, everything's going on around him. It's collapsing. He just kind of moves, slides, shifts, steps forward, gets away with the fact that he almost threw a pick. But his poise in the pocket, I mean, he just never seems rattled back there as everything's falling apart.
We're down at 6. Bears must get to the 15 for a first down. As Cutler fires downfield, and Jeffrey able to make the catch. With Robinson all over him, Alshon Jeffrey picks up a Bears first down, a 30-yard pass play.
Doesn't matter how good a position you're in. These underthrown deep balls just wreak havoc with cornerbacks. And the big body of Alshon Jeffrey's got his hand up there. Yeah, you can see Josh Robinson coming up wanting to call there. This is a big guy. He's 6'3", 220. And you've got two big physical wide receivers on the outside for the Chicago Bears.
From the 39 on first down. Cutler over the middle, off the hands of Davis.
Now, we've seen that too many times this season. There's opportunities for the tight ends in this offense to make these big plays down the seam, and they just haven't been able to complete it.
Huge target downfield, man. Jay Cutler puts his ball in a spot where he should be able to catch it. See what Jay was thinking.
Yeah.
Not too happy.
Now second and 10, midway through the fourth quarter. Cutler moving to his right. There is a flag. As Cutler was hit, ball came loose.
I have not heard a whistle. Did you hear a whistle, Tony? Not to the end,
nothing
right?
down here.
Davis recovers. And we'll head down here from referee Walt Coleman as Cutler struggles to get back up onto his feet.
Big pressure out here down the bottom of your screen. Watch Jared Allen. Jared Allen keep going, gets held a little bit. The flag comes out and keeps moving. Then
Everson Griffin, the second one, came in and got him.
Allen low, Griffin high.
Jared Allen gets the leg. You'll see it right here. Low and
There are fouls on both teams. Holding number 73, the offense. Personal foul, 97. Hit the quarterback in the head on the defense. Those penalties offset. Repeat second down.
Well, you talked about the hold on Jamarcus Webb as Jared Allen goes inside. You got to get more. Eric Weems, if you're going to do a chip protection with Jared Allen, you need to get more than that on him. And here comes the second one, the hit. You can see face mask to face mask. Everson Griffin on Jay Cutler.
Penalties offset.
And Jared Allen's trying to say that he was down before contact was made. And this is nothing new for Jay Cutler. That's why, every game we have done, the one thing that we always walk away with is a healthy respect for the toughness of Jay Cutler.
Well, Coleman says we're ready to go. Second and 10 for the Bears from their own 39-yard line. Cutler to Marshall, what a catch.
was unbelievable right there. If you're A.J. Jefferson, man, I don't know what more you could do. Watch him here on the outside. Does a nice job of getting into him a little bit. He's right on it. The one thing he doesn't do, Darryl, and we talk about it all the time, is get his head back around to identify when that ball's coming. What a great catch by Brandon Marshall.
The big thing was hard. His hands came up so late. You know, it's one of the tricks for the cornerbacks is when those hands start to go up, you turn your head around. But Brandon Marshall was so late with his hands that he had no chance.
Butler's pass was deflected. Second and 10 coming up with under 7 minutes remaining.
Getting your hands up. The defensive line does a nice job. Tip ball.
Kevin Williams, the 6-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he can. That right there frustrates a quarterback. Can't get that pass rush. Just get your hands up and try to affect the play, and that's exactly what Kevin did.
Second and 10. From the 39. Off the fake to Forte. Butler fires over the middle, and the pass actually hits Jasper Brinkley. Butler was looking for the tight end, Kyle Adams.
Well, if you can't get your head around, Dow, use your body, right?
There's Matt Spaeth there. He's going to be in protection to make sure that that side is clean with Brian Robinson. And again, you're trying to get your tight end down the middle of the field, but that's that cover two where that linebacker is carrying that route down the field.
Empty backfield, third down and 10. Butler steps up, and then a shovel pass to Marshall. Marshall down at the 31. About 2 yards shy of a first. So the Bears, trailing by 2 touchdowns, will leave the offense out on the field on fourth down.
Not the way you draw it up. Those two have developed such great chemistry in their first season together here in Chicago.
99th reception for Marshall. So now fourth down and 3 for Chicago. Bears must get to the 29, and they do. It's Marshall. That's his 100th catch. It ties a franchise record, but more importantly, it extends this drive.
How do you stop him, Darryl? Can you please tell me?
He's so good with his body position, Tony. And then, I mean, how many guys have we talked to that have talked about the strength he has with his hands at the point of the catch? And this is the second time we've seen a game where he's been covered very, very well the majority of the game, and yet appears to be unstoppable.
Does a great job with his body, just leaning on guys. Everybody knows the ball is going to him, and you just can't stop him.
New set of downs for Chicago. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Jeffrey hit hard on the tackle by Josh Robinson. So Brandon Marshall now with 100 receptions this season. It ties the franchise record. Marty Booker with 100 receptions back in 2001.
254.
The 11th play of the drive for the Bears. On second and 6, pass broken up by Whitfield, intended for Hester.
And that's one of the opportunities that Devin Hester will have working out of that slot. Those quick slants, get it into his hands as quick as you can and let him use those skills that we've seen as a returner in the open field.
Third down and 6. Butler throws, and Hester unable to make the catch. What an opportunity.
You called it, Dow. That is an opportunity. He was wide open. He catches that ball. He's in the end zone right now.
And again, it's some of the the smaller details about why he's struggled a little bit on the outside as a wide receiver. You know, just finish that catch. You know, eyes coming up just a little bit too soon. You see the frustration on his face.
4th down and 6. Bears must get to the 17 as Marshall could not make the catch. Vikings will take over on downs. Vikings defense holds. They stop the Bears on 4th down. Brandon Marshall, the intended receiver, on the last throw by Cutler. So the Vikings take over, leading by 2 touchdowns, 4.5 remaining. It's Adrian Peterson on 1st down. As we head to Los Angeles, Kurt Menefee.
Well, don't forget, when you guys are done, America's Game of the Week comes your way. Most of your audience will see Drew Brees and the Saints taking on Eli Manning and the New York Giants. The Giants trying to hold on to first place in the East as they go down the stretch. That's America's Game of the Week, right at the conclusion of yours here in Minnesota. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Another key late game. Seattle hosting Arizona. Right now, the Bears just called timeout. Hold the first wild card at 8-4. Seattle Seahawks in the other wild card spot at 7-5, and a victory by Minnesota would bring the Vikings to 7 wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get jumbled up. And, you know, the late game today with New Orleans and the New York Giants, I mean, those are 2 teams that, you know, a couple weeks ago we were watching out for. Those are the hot teams right there, and they had some tough goes of it lately. The Giants still lead in the NFC East, but that lead is shrinking.
Peterson out to the 29. Conti to tackle. Adrian Peterson with 2 first-quarter touchdowns. Give the Vikings a 14-0 lead. Bears use another timeout.
Team timeout.
And we will take a break. Just over 4 minutes remaining here in snowy Minneapolis. Well, what does Adrian Peterson do for an encore after running for 210 last week against Green Bay? Just as impressive here today against the Chicago Bears.
He really has. It's a tough defense, even without Brian Urlacher and Tim Jennings out there. This is still a tough group, and look at the day that he's put up. He is so critical to this team's success.
There's Peterson bottled up on 3rd down, so the Bears will get the ball back. Peterson's 31st carry of the game, and that is a new career high for Adrian. Bears use their 3rd and final timeout. Stop the clock with exactly 4 minutes remaining.
But, you know, we've talked a lot about his recovery and what he's done, but we can't forget about another guy out there, and that's Peyton Manning. And I think this could be maybe the hardest vote ever for comeback player of the year, because not are they only comeback player of the year, they could be the most valuable player of the year. So, I mean, look at what those 2 guys have done coming back from what happened to both of them last season. And a lot of uncertainty with Peyton Manning and what his career was going to be, and Adrian Peterson committed to being back there for the opener, but can you really do that with the damage that you sustained to your knee? And he is as good as ever, and Peyton Manning is having a heck of a year out in Denver.
8 straight wins for the Broncos. They have clinched their division. And the Vikings right in the thick of the playoff race in the NFC. Heston to the 35, and there is a flag. Extracurricular activity.
During the return, the lead will block in the back. Number 38 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Zachary Bowman. So the Bears offense back out, 3:51 remaining. Here in Minneapolis tonight on Fox, Animation Domination has an all-new night of Young Love and Cool Cats. It's The Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, and American Dad starting at 8. 7 Central tonight on Fox. Great job by our entire crew. Producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, associate directors Eric Mandy and Joe Williams, broadcast associate Paul Marmero, technical producer Sid Drexler, technical director Chris Castro. Jason Campbell takes over for Jay Cutler, who took some hard hits on that last drive. So Campbell, the former Redskin and Raider, in at quarterback for the Bears, and he finds Matt Forte out at the 26-yard line.
And I think this is a good decision right here by Lovie Smith and the Chicago Bears. Jay Cutler has been roughed up all afternoon long. You're down 2 scores right here. We know how important it is to have Jay Cutler in the lineup for the Chicago Bears if they're going to be successful. You cannot fool around with his health moving down the stretch here this season.
Second down and 9. Campbell complete to Hester. Remember, Cutler suffered the concussion in the game November 11th against Houston, sat out the San Francisco game following Monday, and then returned for the Vikings game 2 weeks ago today. Campbell, 71 career starts. Started the 1 game this season out in San Francisco. Third down and 3. Pass intended for Hester. There is a flag. Josh Robinson.
Raining flags down here.
Pass interference, number 21, defense. Ball being placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
We'll go back and take a look at that hit on the previous drive on Jay Cutler. And it's not Jared Allen here, but watch Everson Griffin come in, number 97. You know, face mask to face mask, bends that neck back, and you can see Jay Cutler on the side getting worked on after that series was over.
From the 40, Campbell moving to his left. Crossing the line of scrimmage, heading for the sidelines, picks up 7. Tampa Bay, Darrell, has taken a 21-10 lead over Philadelphia late 4th quarter. So the Buccaneers with a victory would go to 7-6. Dallas is pulled to within 2 in Cincinnati. There's Cutler on the sidelines. Bears loss would drop Chicago to 8-5. Green Bay with the 8-4 record host the Lions later tonight. And Baltimore has taken an 8-point lead on Washington late 4th quarter. Second down and 2. Empty backfield. Campbell from the shotgun. Campbell complete to Forte to the Vikings 34-yard line. 18-yard pass play. And Jefferson shaken up. So the Vikings medical staff tending to A.J. Jefferson. Back in a moment. Good news, A.J. Jefferson walking off under his own power.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's your own guy. First it's going to be Aaron Henderson, number 15, but the real tough one comes in from the opposite side by Jamarcus Sanford right there.
Well, with 2:32 remaining. And Jason Campbell in for Jay Cutler as Jefferson exits the Vikings locker room. First and 10 for Chicago from the Minnesota 34-yard line. Marcus Sherrill's in for A.J. Jefferson at right corner. Coleman winds the play clock. Here we go. On first down, Campbell chased by Griffin. He throws to the far side to the tight end, Kyle Adams. And Adams able to gain 9 down to the 25.
Jason Campbell has got to be aware of what's been going on this afternoon. He's got Brandon Marshall matched up against Marcus Sherrills on the outside right now, who's come in for A.J. Jefferson. Might want to take a look to his side on this play.
Campbell absolutely completed all 4 of his pass attempts on this drive. Bears out of timeouts.
Right here with you.
They do have the 2-minute warning. On 2nd and 1, Campbell escapes and then throws it away.
Watching Brandon Marshall, who's trying to give Campbell a little bit of a signal to go and throw it outside. He was man-to-man on the outside, but the pressure got to Campbell. Obviously, couldn't get the ball to him.
Campbell, first-round pick of the Redskins back in 05. Pick right after the Packers chose Aaron Rodgers. Campbell went next to Washington. Third down and 1. 2:15 remaining. Three wide receivers set. Hester in the slot. Campbell looking his way. Hester makes the catch. He's inside the 15 and shoved out of bounds at the 11. So Hester picks up a first down, 14-yard pass play with 2:08 on the clock.
Yeah, good to see him have another opportunity because he's been really, really frustrated since that drop he had on that third down where he was going to have a big play.
Yeah, he's walking over to the sideline. Looked like he got hit by a camera or what. But, right there trying to get his feet back underneath him.
Flexing his right leg. First time in the red zone for the Bears all day. Campbell out of timeouts. Tries to call timeout as the play clock wound all the way down.
Game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, the flag just came out.
First down.
It's one of the things, you know, as a backup quarterback, you know, it's all the little things that come in when you get onto the field in a situation like this. You got to kind of get into that rhythm. It's not just the play calling and communication back and forth, but monitoring that whole play experience and understanding the play clock, getting in tune with that.
Well, in game management, you have to know that you're out of timeouts as well. First down and 15 as the Bears lose 5 yards on the delay. As Campbell swings it out looking for Forte, and Campbell took a hit from Jared Allen. 2:03 remaining, so time for one more play, then the 2-minute warning.
Jared Allen still bringing it after everybody, I think, on that offensive side has either chipped him, cut him, or some way tried to affect his pass rush. But his motor is still moving.
Well, I mean, on that play, you got your wide receiver chipping him. You've got your offensive guard and tackle turning to him, and he still hits your quarterback.
On second and 15. Campbell under pressure. Now he throws, and the catch is made by Adams, but he's unable to hang on. And there is a flag, as you see at the 6-yard line.
Official has his hat off.
If Kyle Adams went out of bounds,
Yeah, out of
he can't be
bounds.
the first one to touch it when he comes back in.
And the official throws his hat when a player does in fact go out of bounds.
Illegal touching of a pass. Number 86 went out of bounds, came in and was first to touch the ball. 5-yard penalty.
Oh, no doubt about it. Not even close.
You know, he gave somebody a high five in the first row.
He was halfway to St. Paul. 2-minute warning. 21-7 Vikings. A minute 53 remaining here in Minneapolis. Vikings with a 2-touchdown lead. Mason Campbell in for Jay Cutler. Took some hard hits on the last Bears possession. It'll be third down and 15 for Lovie Smith's Bears from the Vikings 16-yard line. Bears 8-4. Vikings at 6-6. Many of you will see the Saints and the Giants, or the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Seattle perfect at home. Time permitting, we will send you to bonus coverage of the Cowboys and the Bengals. Just over 2 minutes remaining in Cincinnati. Bengals with a 2-point lead, 19-17 over Dallas.
Brandon Marshall being covered by rookie Josh Robinson.
And it's Marshall in the end zone. Goose, who makes the catch for the Bears touchdown.
And you got to see that. That safety's got to get over the top with a little help.
It's the one we've seen the whole time. They're at the top of the screen, and watch, it's going to be a little bit underthrown. So as Josh Robinson's working back, and then Brandon Marshall, big physical guy, gets that arm up. You know, you could have had an offensive pass interference there.
Yeah, but that's not how they've been calling it all day.
No, they've really let him play on the outside. And that's the thing, when you get into that play, as long as they're consistent with how they're calling it.
Both ways.
Here's Robbie Gould. In case you joined us late, sprained his left calf. Pre-game. Was not kicked off, but he does connect on his second extra point. It's a one-possession game as we head to Los Angeles for a game break with Patrick O'Neill. Patrick.
All right, Kenny, let's show you how the Cowboys got back in this one. Tony Romo, the strike to Des Bryant. He gets in there, 27-yard touchdown, 19-17 now. The Bengals lead, and as you mentioned, Kenny, time permitting, we'll show you the conclusion of this one when yours is over. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, thanks, Patrick. 2-point game in Cincinnati. And with the Steelers losing by 17 to the Chargers, if Cincinnati hangs on, they would flip-flop with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and then let's take a look at the division leaders right now. We have an 11-1 in the NFC that we're waiting to find out about. The Falcons lose to the Panthers today. Big game Monday night, New England versus Houston, to really kind of sort out what's going there at the top of the AFC.
Patriots hosting the Texans tomorrow night. And the Redskins have tied the Ravens at 28. They are headed to overtime in Landover, Maryland. I told you Tampa Bay leads Philadelphia. Buccaneers 6-6, Redskins 6-6, Cowboys 6-6, Vikings 6-6. So now it is Robbie Gould. He's 0 for 7 in his career on onside kicks. And he's attempting it with the left calf straight, and it comes down right into the arms of Kyle Rudolph. So the Bears with no timeouts remaining. A minute 47 to play here in Minneapolis.
Yeah, hands off to that front line of players on that onside kick return team. They kept Kyle Rudolph clean so he could make that easy catch.
So the Vikings will be able to run out the clock. Bears with no timeouts. Second meeting in 3 weeks. What an afternoon for Adrian Peterson. 154 yards on the ground. 2 touchdowns. Dave Corris crunching the numbers for us, keeping track of all 154 yards, along with Ben Bowman here in the booth. And Vanderhook, Ricky Camps in the truck, and Nick Gagliano on the field with Goose.
They really
frustrating for Brian Urlacher to watch this game today.
They missed him today. They missed his leadership. They missed his experience out there. And I think we've still got a lot of answers that have to be found out for both of these teams. You know, for the Minnesota Vikings, you know, you've got to be able to be better in the passing game. We still didn't see that today. Another great afternoon by Adrian Peterson, but we still wonder why we're not having that success. Percy Harvin goes on IR this week. That's a tough loss, but these other receivers have to step up. Saw a little bit from Michael Jenkins during the course of the game, but it's got to become more consistent for Christian Ponder. You've got to accelerate that trust and that learning curve.
So the Minnesota Vikings will win for the 7th time this season. Bears will drop to 8-5. St. Louis Rams won today. They go to 6-1. Washington in overtime with Baltimore. Dallas trailing by 2 late. Tampa Bay winning by 5 late. And the Saints will take on the Giants. So it gets even more interesting in the NFC with 3 weeks remaining as Leslie Frazier defeats his former team, the Chicago Bears, for the first time after losing his first 4. Huge win for Garrett Allen and the Vikings as they go to 7-6, 6-1 here at home. And the Bears drop to 8-5. Bears will host the Packers in another huge game next week, while the Vikings will travel to St. Louis. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, this is Kenny Albert. So long from Minneapolis as we send you to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee. Kurt?